in any case, Zot Tihyeh Torat Metzora. So the word Torah we're used to the word Torah, and we're used to use it in the general sense of the Torah. But the word Torah can be used in a very specific way as referring to a set of instructions concerning a specific situation. Zot Torat Ha'olah. This is the set of instructions for the burnt offering. Zot Torat HaChatat. Zot Torat. So Zot, and this is a common structure of instructions, set of instructions in especially the book of Leviticus. Okay? So these are the instructions for the leper in the day B'yom Tahorato Ve-huba el ha-kohen. You can see the Vowel of the Hophal. We've seen earlier the passive call participle. We can talk about the Metzora, okay, which is again a participle again of the passive binyanim. You can see the O vowel following the tzadi, the first root letter, which is alternative to the U vowel as well. Here, since we have a guttural letter, it changes into the O. But in all of these cases, whether it is following the second root letter, as we've seen with, let's go with Tzarua. Tzarua, when we have the U vowel following the second root letter, 1, 2, U, and third root letter, or following the first root letter, as we have with Metzora, 1, 2, 3, and in the middle we have the U vowel, which changes here to an O vowel, marking the Pual binyan. This is the Kal passive participle. This is the Pual following the first root letter. Metzora, the U, in this case O, is following the first root letter, or the Hophal, where we have the U vowel preceding the first root letter. So whether it is positioned before the first root letter, between the first and second root letter, or between the second and third root letter, you can see that in all of these cases, the U is marking the, or its alternative, the O, okay, but generally speaking, the U is marking the passivity in all of these cases. Can you see that, guys? Are you following me? Are you with me?
Yep. Yep.
Very good. Very good. So uval is a common marker of passivity, be that before the first root letter, between the first and second, or the second and third. If it comes after the third, it's a different story. It marks the something else. Okay, masculine plural in the verbs like shameru. Okay, Metzora, ha-metzora, especially now that we see the definite article, very commonly used as a, you already know it's a passive participle, but it is substantivized. So it's a substantivized passive participle. B'yom tahorato, ve-huba el ha-kohen, ve-yatza ha-kohen el michutz la-machane. So the priest is going towards him, okay, to again diagnose him. Remember that we had this diagnostic observation at the beginning. Ve-huba el ha-kohen, ve-ra'a ha-kohen, ve-ra'ahu ha-kohen ve-timeh oto. The first verses of chapter 13. Chapter 14 dealing with the purification. Again, ve-yatza ha-kohen, ve-ra'ahu ha-kohen ve-hineh nirpa. So you can see how both transitions from pure to impure and from impure to pure have that similar language and similar process. Okay, so he's diagnosing in order to authenticate the recovery and then to do this process. We've talked about the pattern of Tzarat, and we've talked about the pattern of Tzarua. Very good. Okay. Now, let's see. V'tziva hakohen ve'lakach lamitaher. Okay, it's a good opportunity to cover these. Ve-huba, ve'yatza, ve'ra'a, ve'tziva, ve'lakach, ve'tziva, ve'shachat. All of these, as we've talked about earlier, are the Weqatal of that procedure that is related to the, if you will, similar if-then clause. Okay, but here it is presented slightly differently. It doesn't. It's not if he is pure, but when he is cleansed. Okay, if and when are very close to one another in biblical Hebrew, as well as in other languages. So we have the Weqatal Ve-huba, Ve-yatza, Ve-ra'a, Ve-tziva, Ve-lakach, Ve-tziva. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about the elements that are brought here. So we have Ezov. Guys, Ezov, probably Za'atar. Do you go to your supermarket, you want to get Ezov, you get Za'atar. Some, if you are into Middle Eastern cuisine, you know Za'atar. If not, it's a cousin of the oregano, something like that. Okay, it's a small, it's not a big impressive, but it's a humble vegetation. It's very common, by the way, very loved, mixed with sesame. Sometimes you can get it on your hummus. Okay, so that's Ezov. That's the Ezov. Etz Erez, cedar tree, considered to be very elevated, very big, very high. Okay, so there is a contrast between the cedar, Etz Erez, and the Ezov, Hyssop or Za'atar. Okay, and we have two animals. So we've talked about two vegetations, if you will, flora, and two types of animals. Shetei tziporim that we have here. And the tziporim is interesting here because the noun tzipor is feminine, yet the plural of tzipor is tziporim. So you can see a contrast between tziporim and chayot and tehorot, feminine plural, ending feminine plural form of the adjective, while the noun takes this form that we associate with the masculine plural. Not uncommon in Hebrew, but just interesting to see. Shni tolat. So what is shni tolat? A big discussion. Some kind of a scarlet thread or a scarlet piece of wool that is dyed with scarlet, related to some type of worm of which they would make that color. Okay, V'tziva hakohen ve'shachat et hatzipor achat. So one bird is killed, and the other one is sent away. And we have this. We have a lot of discussions about the meaning of each of these elements and what are the reasons for getting leprosy, and how they are related to the process of healing that leprosy. Nonetheless, that is the situation here, and we're not going to dive into each and every one of these elements, but we've talked about the Weqatal here, and we've talked about the Uval in the passive voice.